All right, so today we are going to be going over the zero-based budget, which is our monthly spending plan, and then also the 7 baby steps, which we'll be going into detail for the next couple of weeks over each of those baby steps. All right, so we're going to move on. Okay, so we have some scripture verses to go along with our lesson today. It is Proverbs 27:17, where it states, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." Basically referring to being in community with each other that are trying, we're all having the same goal of trying to accomplish, similar goals so that we can motivate each other and along the journey, and that we can, join in communion with each other, right? Because we all want to do well in our finances. So as you're with other people that are also wanting to do well in their finances, you guys can help push each other and also create accountability with each other. We also have Proverbs 16:3, where it states, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans." Basically, also referring to giving our finances to God and literally committing them to Him so that He can guide our path through His perfect plan in our lives. We also have Luke 14:28, where it states, "Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough month to complete it?" This is referring to not making emotional financial decisions without first consulting God and making a plan to see if we are making a logical and strategic decision. Proverbs 27:23 states, "Be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds," referring also to needing to know where our money is going and being intentional in making sure it is going to the right places. Having a plan and initiating that plan sets us up for success. All right, and so I have Raquel here who's going to actually start the introduction of this, and then later on we're going to go into a tool that we have for you guys. If you guys want to use it, there's also other tools as well, but I'll go into the details of all of this that Raquel is going to be explaining to you today.
Thank you. Good morning. We will start with zero-based budget. What is a zero-based budget? A zero-based budget is our total income minus our expenses equals zero. That means that every dollar that you will get in this month or next month, you will assign a job for that, like can be pay your bills, saving, or build wealth. Why does it matter? The Financial Peace University teaches that making a zero-based budget gives you peace. And let me tell you, it's real. To me, bring me the most amazing peace in my life. Why? Because I was so focused in build stuff, doing stuff, but I didn't make a balance. When we don't make a balance and we say like, okay, I'm saving a certain percent for this, like build a house or pay off my debt, but I can go and have dinner, I can have my vacation. Like I was so focused in just one goal. So making your zero-based budget will give you clear goal, where you go, and real amount where you put aside every month, that you don't make decision before you overspending. Who at the end of the month feel like you don't have any money left? Mm-hmm. If you are doing your zero-based budget, that will fix it. I promise you. My fiance changed his life. Like he couldn't sleep. He was like all over the place. And he was earning like 4 times my salary. And I was like, you don't have any emergency fund? You don't have this? He said, no way. Like he never have cash. And I said like, no, you need to do a budget. He started doing the budget. He have his emergency fund and he is able to invest. So now like, I promise you, start doing your budget and you will change your life. Right now, we will play a video. If you have any question, please let me know. My English, I know it's not perfect, but I'm trying my best, okay? Okay, let's play the video.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jade Warshaw, and I'm here with the Every Dollar team. Now, one thing you need to know about me is I am a big fan of budgeting. But not just any kind of budget, I'm talking about a zero-based budget. Now, you may not know what that is, but that's okay, I'm gonna explain it to you. So a zero-based budget is when your income minus your expenses equals zero. It does not mean that you have $0 in the bank. A zero-based budget is simply you giving every single dollar an assignment, and I mean every single dollar. So, how do we create a zero-based budget? Here's what we do. First, we're gonna list out all of our monthly income. Any way that you're bringing in money, I want you to make a list of it. That's regular paychecks, that's money from side hustles, maybe you're receiving child support or alimony, or maybe you've just done a garage sale and you got a couple of bucks in. Make sure you're adding that to the income category. Next, I want you to go through and list out all of the expenses. Now, this is where it gets tough because we really got to get the old mind working here. We got to think through everything that we're spending money on. Well, number one, we know giving. That's got to be at the top of the list. And then number two, it's got to be savings because we need that buffer between us and life. And then after that, it's those expenses that make your household run. All right, we need to make sure there's money for food. You got to eat. We need utilities. You got to keep the lights on. Then shelter and, of course, transportation. Other essentials that come through like insurance, debt, we can roll those on down the line. All right, so we've gone through the important stuff. Now let's talk about the fun stuff. We need to remember to budget for things like entertainment, fun money, restaurants. This is the good stuff. Maybe it's your aunt's birthday. You want to make sure to put that line item on the budget. This is also a good time to add that sinking fund for Christmas because remember, Christmas comes the same day every year. All right, next you've got to take that income and you've got to subtract that long list of expenses. Now let's be real. Some of y'all are gonna start subtracting those expenses and you're gonna run out of money, but you're still gonna have a bunch of expenses left. If this happens, that means one of two things or both. It either means that you need to get your income up or you need to decrease some of your expenses or both. Now, some of y'all are gonna start subtracting those expenses and you're gonna find out that you actually have money left over. Are you kidding me? That's incredible. You've got money left over. Now's a great time to take that money and use it for something productive like paying off debt or even setting aside 3 to 6 months of emergency. The key is keep trimming until you've reached zero. Now, you've worked hard for your money, guys. It should be working hard for you. Every single dollar needs a name and an assignment. So get out there and put that money to work. You got this.
Yes, you got this. And right now, we will do a zero-based budget. And it's very simple. In 4 steps, we will do it. Our first step is knowing what is your income. Because if you know what is coming in, you can make decision on what is coming out. Take a list, think about what is your income, let's say what you will earn next month, or if you are a freelancer, think about after taxes, put aside like from 20 to 30% out of your income and put that there. We will use that later. Right now I know like it's a lot of information and you don't will be able to do your real one, but we will practice with one example that you can practice at home later, okay? So put that number aside and we will use that later. The second step is list all your expenses, but don't forget necessary first. You have to put your amount for transportation, electricity, and food. Then you put aside what you would save in and invest in. The same thing, you put the amount, if you know right now, if you know, it's okay, because you will have to check like 3 months behind to you make sure that you have your amount correct, to you be able to put aside every amount exactly what it is, okay? Right now is step number 3. Here we have the example. Let's say that you earn $3,000 after taxes. We will put all our expenses, necessary first, like house, food, utilities, and saving and giving. Then we have, like I earn, let's say, $3,000 after taxes. If you have a business, put out the taxes because you can't count with something that you had to pay to the government. But this example is like, let's say that you earn $3,000 after taxes. I have to put every percent to each category. Like gift, I have 10%, that's 300. Saving, 10%, 300. Food, housing, 25%, 750. And you will continue with all your expenses. Your expenses can be different than this one, guys, but this gives you a sample that you can change it and put that with your expenses, real expenses. But I know that I'm earning $3,000, but I have already that from that $3,000 I will spend and give $300. I can't spend $400 in giving because I know that I overspending. I already know align with my budget. My budget is $3,000. If I spend, like, let's say in one that I used to overspending, personal spending, like I go to a restaurant 5 times. I know that I only have, with $3,000 that I'm earning every month, $150. If I spend in restaurant this month $500, I overspending. So I would pay from my credit card that I don't have that money 30% because I don't would be able to pay that amount because I out of my spending. Because if I earn $3,000, I can't spend $4,000 or $5,000, and that's the problem when you don't budget. Because when you don't budget, you are spending just with emotion. You are not spending aligned with your real number. So for that reason, it's very important you do your budget with your real number and be aligned every month. What I do is every month I have what amount I will save automatically. I don't touch that. Like I don't have to worry like, oh, this month I have to like send $300 in my saving. No, that's automatically. I don't have to think about all my income is automatically set up. When like right now I pay off my car, but I already saving for my future car in 10 years. I already had that set up saving. When that time arrived, I had that money there. So I don't have to worry about that. Of course, if I have an emergency and I have to take that out, like my car break or something like that, I take that money. So budgeting is very important to you be able to achieve your goal and be clear where you want to go without stress. Okay? Here, if you spend more, how I will explain it to you, more than $3,000 that is my total income during the month, what I have to do, I have to check what I'm doing. I have to check if I spend, where I am spending more. I say like I was spending a lot in restaurant. Buy food, cook at home. Try to reduce your expenses. Try to check your insurance. Like what happened to me, I was spending out in insurance like $300. So I call another insurance and they give me insurance for $70. So how much I was earning there? I just put that in my saving and I was able to save that money, and that was real. That was real. Like I was in shock when they said, okay, $70. I said, what? I immediately canceled and I went to them. The same thing, like we are spending, sometimes we spend more than we eat at home. Like I go to the supermarket and you buy just with emotion. Try to make a list what you need, and you can eat healthy. Prepare your food before you have to prepare them. Like I was by myself, and I can tell you I was spending a lot of money. Things go bad because I couldn't eat all of that. So if you know that you will eat vegetable with meat, buy different meat, prepare that, and have that there for the whole week, and that will save you a lot of money. I can tell you, I save a lot of money with that. Eating healthy, and you save money. Because sometimes you take things that you don't need, and really it's not healthy for your body.
Yeah.
Here you have a different description, like what you can find in your expenses. Just a guide for you. like you understand what is housing, what is utilities, what food, of course you know, but you know, in case you have some guidance here, you have the description of them. And step number 4, this one is the most important one, because if you don't see what are you doing with your money, if you don't track what is going on, okay.
Yeah, just went off.
Okay, you go back. Okay. Okay. If you don't track what is going on with your money, you never will be able to reach your goal. Why? Because when you are spending an emotion, and not because you have a plan, not because you are working towards your goal, you are clear where you go, your money will control you, because it's a lot of marketing, it's a lot of stuff that we every day is, you know, watching people, oh, I in a cruise, I on vacation, okay, I can afford, but if it is that, that's good, that's fine, but if that is not in your budget, you can't afford it right now. You have to plan. Don't go on vacation with credit card. Don't buy a car that you can afford. So try to be clear where you want to go. Don't let everything overwhelm you and then you take decision just in emotion. Open your Bible, pray every time that you have to take a decision, and ask yourself, I save for that? I really budget for that? Can I afford that right now? And then you go ahead. That's my advice for them.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to go through the 7 baby steps real quickly. And again, we're going to be going through each of these steps for the next few weeks in detail. So we have step 1, or baby step number 1, is save $1,000 cash in emergency fund. That is your first step. Baby step number 2, pay off all debt using the debt snowball. Baby step number 3, put 3 to 6 months of expenses into savings as a full emergency fund. Baby step number 4, invest 15% of your household income into Roth IRAs and tax-favored retirement plans. Baby step number 5, save for your children's college if that's applicable to you. Baby step number 6, pay off your home early. And baby step number 7, build wealth and give. That's my favorite one. All right, so I am going to go now into detail. In your binder, you have your monthly spending plan, which is the paper form. I think you were just on it.
That one that says household spending?
No. Well, those are just the percentages,
that
which is good. But he actually has it right there, the green one. There's a monthly spending plan.
Spreadsheet.
Yep. And I'm going to go into detail. So that's the paper version. And that's a good one to get started on, just to be able to list out all your expenses. All right. Where did your cursor go? There we go. And we are going to duplicate display. Keep changes. All right. So you should be looking at this one here. Spending plan. So that's the one that should be in your binder. So this is the digital version, and it's a fully automated tool. So I highly recommend probably doing the paper version. Write down all your income, how much income is coming in every single month, and then jot down all your expenses going down, right? So you have the expenses category here, and there's 3 categories of expenses that you have listed here. We have fixed cost expenses. Those are expenses that they're the same every single month. It doesn't change. So you have your mortgage, you have your car loan, car insurance, and those are the type of categories you would be looking at putting into that fixed categories costs. So let's see. We also have semi-variable costs. These are also expenses every single month, but they may change in amount. So like there's some months that are higher electricity and water, and some months that are lower electricity and water. So you have electricity, water here. Groceries is every single month, but it may not be the same amount. Now you are going to be putting an amount here that you're going to try to stick to, but it can adjust. Then you also have gas for your car. And then we can go down here and we have highly variable costs. Highly variable costs, these are expenses that are not every single month. So it could be maybe you don't buy clothes every single month, it's just occasionally. You have vacation. When you go on vacation, you're not going on vacation every single month, but on the month that you are planning on going on vacation, you can go ahead and budget for that item. Then we also have, let's see, gifts. Gifts is another one that would be on here. We'll see in this section, but that's an example of a highly variable cost because maybe you're not giving gifts every single month, but your sister's birthday is coming up or your nieces and nephews, and you want to go ahead and make sure you're allocating that amount so you're planning in advance. Another thing I do want to point out about this monthly spending plan, you're going to use this right now, of course, that paper one, to just jot it down to get like a little vision of what kind of expenses are coming through your spending. But we want to plan the month before. So like when you're planning, what are we? We're on May 3rd. So towards the end of the month, you want to already start planning for June, and you will fill out this sheet and start planning for June what expenses are going to be coming out and how much. And you got to make a plan. When you're also doing this, you are probably wondering, okay, so I'm going to put down groceries and I'm going to put down gas. I don't know if you have never done this before, you're probably not aware of how much you're actually spending on groceries and gas. So this might be a very lightning steps to be taking, and you'll go through it, and you would go through your statements, right? So you're going to go through your statements, you're going to go ahead and calculate how much you spent in restaurants, and it might be kind of easy to do it nowadays because nowadays that you can export your statements out, and most of it is already kind of categories for you, and you can get like a sum total of how much you spent for like last month, and then I would do the same thing for the month before, and maybe the month before that, and get those three totals and take the average of them, right? Take the average, and that'll give you a good idea of how much you're actually spending in groceries. Or how much to allocate, right? So you're going to come up with those numbers, you're going to analyze your numbers, calculate them, and you're going to enter all those numbers and expenses into this sheet in column C, which is the beige. So once you go ahead and you come up with all your numbers here, then we're going to go to our digital, yes, go ahead.
This will be filled out every month, correct?
Yes, every single month you have to make a plan, and you want to fill it out the month before. That's the plan, because you need to plan before you actually get into the next month. You don't want to plan in the moment. You don't want to do that. So you want to make a plan before the month starts. So that is your plan.
And the one that is like high variable cost,
Yes.
those ones are the ones that are not done every month.
Yeah,
but
not done every
I
month.
can budget like make an average and do it and then divide it by month. Can I do it or not?
I mean, in those instances, I wouldn't say that because it's not every single month. So those items are not every single month unless you want to go back and look at the months that you did have them in and calculate that. You could do that. And it just depends on what it is. So if it's like, each item is different. So if you have gifts, maybe you want to just allocate your budget for gifts is $25, $50 maybe, right? For, this person, I have 3 gifts to give this month. Okay, maybe it'll be $50 that month or $75, depending on how much you're going to give for each of those gifts, right? So that's how you're going to do it. So in that category sense, it's not necessarily going back 3 months and looking at it. You might need to look at different months to find out when you had that category because it won't be in every single month. So, and that's why it's good to plan the month before and think about like I have these these people in my family's birthdays are in June. And you can maybe that's another thing you could probably do too is like make a list of those random things, especially gifts, like, okay, so I like to get gifts for this person, this person, this person. They're in these months. I'm going to make sure when I plan the month before, like I'm including that in the monthly spending plan.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and sometimes we don't have the information because, you don't remember. But if it happened right now, take the note and immediately take action. Sometimes we think like, oh, it's a lot and it's overwhelmed. But as soon as you start the first month, second month will be easy. Sometimes I don't have to check nothing at all. and I know how much I have to put in my food account and all the expenses for the house. I have a limit, and you don't have to worry about that. But you have to start doing to know how much really is what you have to put there. Okay.
And it might not be perfect because you're just starting this out, right? So if this is the first time you're doing this, the most important thing is that you're getting started. And so the next few months, you're going to be analyzing your spending plan, and I'm going to show you how if you're using this tool. So we're now at the digital register tab. This digital register tab, who here has ever used a register, like a check register? Yeah, that back in the day. So this is basically a digital check register. You're going to write down everything that is coming through your account. And for example, like right now I put January 1st up here. You would put the date. And then if you open this here, this category, this has the drop down of everything that you entered here in this column. So your income goes at the top here. We have tithe here. You have your expenses all here. So you can update this to how you want it to be worded. You want it to be worded in your expense sheet, and it will automatically filter into this drop down when you're going ahead and doing your register and pulling in for those categories.
Joanna, can you please, because that was my question
Yep.
to you, right? We're doing with Julia, and she wanted just to create her own categories. Can you just show us how to do
Yeah.
that, please?
So right here, you're gonna be able to, you can delete any of these, right? So let me see if I can delete. I'll just delete this one for now. But you can delete it, and I'm gonna put for fixed costs. I don't know. We'll do auto loan.
Oh, okay, so it's not in the Dropbox.
Nope.
Okay, that's what it was like.
Nope.
Never do that.
You just update it on this
so
monthly
easy.
spend.
In this
Yeah, very
spending plan.
easy. Update it. You can change it. You can delete anything that doesn't apply to you. I highly recommend deleting it. Another little tip real quick though is if you're gonna use this tool, we're gonna send out the link to everybody. But the biggest tip here is making sure that you click on file here because you're gonna make a copy for yourself. Only you will have access to this tool for your spreadsheet. So when you come up here to make a copy, you're gonna click file, make a copy, and then it'll save under your Google Drive. And this is in Google. So if you don't have a Google account, probably recommend, if you want to use the tool, go ahead and get one, and then this will be in your Google Drive. Only you will have access to it. You will be the ownership. You will have ownership of that sheet. So then you'll click here and make a copy. And now you have your own sheet that you are going to be able to edit. This here, when you click into the link here, you're not going to be able to edit it because it's a template and you're only going to have view access. So just keep that in mind. All right. So we'll go back to here. So everything will start. So you're going to use this like a regular register book that we used to write everything down. The nice thing is here, and I'll show my example that's already done. So here's an example that we went ahead and put all my expenses in for the month, right? I go ahead and put everything in. The nice thing about this is you can analyze this in real time, and I'm going to show you how. So I have expenses all in here. I'm going to click now back to the spending plan, right? This is where we put in my amounts for the month that I believe is how much that my plan is to spend this much only. You're going to see on this column here, column D, where it says actual, it's automatically pulling everything from this digital register tab that you've entered, and it's pulling in your actuals of how much you've actually spent so far for the month. So you can analyze this in real time throughout the month and say, okay, so I allocated $800 towards my car loan. I haven't put that into my register yet because it hasn't been due yet. But I'm going to show it's green because I still have those funds available that I haven't spent yet. So if I go down here, dining out. I had $200 budgeted for the month for dining out. I spent $335. It is red because I went over $135. So what you can do in this instance, if you have availability in other funds that you can kind of like adjust, if you go over, and this is where it's good to analyze in real time throughout the month if you want to, instead of like at the end of the month and then going back and looking at this and see where you went over and everything, you can do everything in real time, or you can just wait till the end of the month and, you know, if that's more where you're more comfortable. But you can make adjustments in real time by looking at this. So right here, I went over $135. Maybe I'll go ahead, maybe this month I'm not going to drive as much this month, right? maybe. And I know that I'm not going to drive a lot this month. I still have funds in the gasoline part. Okay, maybe I'll lower this a little bit, and then I'll add more to my dining out to kind of try to budget things, to balance things out, so I'm not going over. But there's times you may go over. The real point is don't go over. All right, so let's see. So we have that. And then we also have this dashboard. It is going to give you everything of all your categories here. It's already giving you your budget, how much the percentage is that you budgeted for. And then it's also giving your actual percentage of what's coming in so far. And then at the end of the month, this is kind of nice to see at the end of the month because you can see where you went negative here too on a visual place, on the visual side. And then if you go down here, this over here just shows you, it's a picture of what you budgeted. So you can see what your large items are here. You can click on them. It'll even show you the amount, the percentage of what you actually budgeted. Then if you go lower down here, this is showing all of your categories. And you can analyze this in real time too throughout the month. Because you can see here on dining out, this red line here, it says here, that's the budget. That's what we budgeted for. So like I still have, let's see if I have any room in any, I still have room in groceries, right? I haven't hit my budget because the blue is my actuals. But I can see in dining out here, I went over. So I could actually probably even adjust groceries to kind of cover some of that dining out and reanalyzing it. So, and let me make sure if I had anything else. Hold on. And I think that's actually pretty much it. Unless you guys have any questions. I want to open up for questions too and leave time. I know this may be a lot. Go ahead.
I got like 1,000 questions.
Go ahead.
But
Shoot.
I'll do one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an entrepreneur. I got my own business.
Mm-hmm.
By just a little bit I've heard, I know of a whole bunch of many mistakes through the years. One of them is not paying myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking about what you're saying. It's like, how much money I make? I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
Because my personals and my business is all mixed up. I
Yeah,
just
we
look
need-
at the account, oh, there's money, I can do this. Okay. And then next month is like, ooh, I'm in a pinch because business go up and down.
Yes.
So in that, from what I'm gathering, what I should do is start paying myself, even if it's whatever, $1,000 a month, and start with a budget over that. And then
So
as I get a grasp of my personal and separate the business expenses,
yes.
then get a better
Yes.
idea of where I am, because right now I have no clue.
And we don't teach on the business accounts, but I will say you want to keep personal and business separate. So I would do this same concept, same steps that you want. I forget the word. Project planning. I would do the same planning for your business and keep it separate. So do your personal, so do you have another income besides the business, or is it just the business?
No, that's my point. I have no
Okay, so
personal.
you need to, so maybe do
I have
the
to
business.
start paying myself in
Yeah.
order to have a
But you need to
personal.
see what the business looks like. So like you do it separate, probably do the business side first to see what expenses you have for the business every single month. See how much is coming in every single month. Because do you have a positive, like what is your net positive? So that you can know, okay, this is how much I'm usually making. And remember, you have highs and lows too, so you got to analyze, these are the months that are good, these are the months that are not so good. So on the months that are not so good, on the months that are good, I'm going to lessen the income so I can plan for the months that are not so good.
Can I
Go ahead.
ask you?
Yep.
All right, so at my house, my husband is a realtor and a broker, and I do insurance, I do finance, so both of us incomes are variable. So I'm gonna tell you that in this very beginning of this process, it's going to look a little complicated. So my suggestion is that you start listing all your expenses. Do not, because of the company, your work, right? The job they're saying, that does not apply for other type of business in general. But I understand when we are realtors, a lot of our, for example, gas and phone, a bunch of stuff, it's kind of both,
Exactly.
right? So I'm gonna suggest that you just list all your expenses, and then you see that there's some notes in there, some space for notes, and those expenses that are also used for business, you just make a little note on the side, right? And then of course you're gonna have your. So let's do something. Let's pray because of the time.
Can you put it like 50-50?
I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, but the best thing, because it took us a while as well, and we won't know in the very beginning just because it's variable a lot. Some months you're gonna have a lot of houses that you're gonna show, so your gas and all the expenses is going to be a little higher in there. So it will make sense after a little while. Then, like Raquel said, once you do it, you understand where the things are, the differences, and instead of putting perfectly, you're gonna just average for that, and then you're gonna be adjusting every month.
Would you recommend, I don't have a business account just yet. I know my husband and I are in the process of it. But one of the things that I want to do, and I want to ask you since you have more experience, is we were planning on just having a separate account altogether for the business. Because I don't like mixing business and personal, even if it's
we
kind
have
of
5 accounts.
So for me, my plan was to have like a separate
We
account.
have, like you said,
that
we
I am-
have 5
Yeah,
credit
we have-
cards.
So like, and say you
Legally-
do, you
legally
need,
you have to.
yes,
Tax purposes.
correct. So
But
that's my
We
point.
have different accounts, and we have different credit cards as well. Cards.
Correct.
I do that.
But we
then
didn't do that in the
I
beginning.
move money from one to the other.
Yeah, but
You get
But that's why
crazy.
that's why it's important to jot down both expenses, your personal side and the business side.
And just a disclosure, this is something that happens a lot in class. So when we will do here in front the basics, and then we can work with you guys individually for your specific situations.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and that's what we
Yep.
do as well. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So then we will go ahead and close in prayer.
Father, we bless your name. We worship, we praise you. We thank you for your word. We thank you for teaching.